Round one, the Los Angeles Coliseum, where today the LA Raiders go against the Cleveland Browns. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Fricky. It is a beautiful day in Los Angeles. Temperature in the 70s, clear and sunny, perfect for playoff football. As you know, the Raiders come in with the best record in the American Conference, 8-1. A year ago, they weren't even in playoffs. John Brody, I think a lot of fans wonder if the Raiders are really as good as their record coming in. In fact, Paul McDonald, quarterback here at the Coliseum for the Southern California Trojans, never was in a losing game in the 12 he started, but he'll have a tough assignment today against a very good Raider defense.
Don, if he can make it 13, he's done quite a job, because these fellas are sitting there saying, hey, nothing really matters as long as Marcus is well. Paul McDonald is going to have to play better than he has played heretofore, and the Cleveland Browns are going to have to play great defense.
Well, they're about ready to go, so let's go out to the field. The Raiders have won the toss, and they will receive to start the game. Tom Flores, Pro Football Writers Coach of the Year. In his first year with the Raiders, never had a Raider team beaten in playoff competition. Of course, he had the perfect season in the playoffs the year the Raiders won the Super Bowl. They've won it twice in the last 6 years. The kickoff goes deep, and Clee Montgomery, a former Brown, takes it back for the LA Raiders. He's out across the 20 to the 21-yard line. There, Los Angeles goes on offense, first and 10 with Jim Plunkett heading out to lead the offense. Marcus Allen, first team All-Pro and near the Pro Bowl, all this in his first season in the league. At one running back, Kenny King, a good runner, but more of a blocker now with Marcus Allen in. Cliff Branch still has the great deep speed. Martin Boundwell's on the other side, and Todd Christensen, a good catching tight end. Up front, the Raiders are always strong with Davis, Marsh, Dalby, Marvin, and Lawrence. And now, the Raiders with the best record in the American Conference heading in go from offense, first and 10. Play fake, and a home run ball coming right out of the block. Cliff Branch has the ball for the Raiders, and he's down to the Cleveland 16-yard line. Keeps on going. They're going to rule he was down at the 16. So the Raiders, who over the years have loved the long ball, hit for 64 yards on the first play from scrimmage.
People sit there and they talk about throwing motions. When you take a look at Jim Plunkett, he's got one of the most fluid long ball motions in the game. He's like tackling a flat rock. When you get him in a situation that he can throw a play-action pass on you, get a guy like Cliff Branch dissecting the secondary, he can put it up there as well as anybody. He did on this occasion. Branch made a nice adjustment to the ball, but that's vintage Plunkett. Real early, 64 yards.
64 it was. So the Raiders go to the bomb early, and now they have it first and 10 at the Cleveland 16. Kenny King runs, and the Browns defense it well. Cleveland with that good core of linebackers. Sam Ratigliano starting Clay Matthews for the first time in 4 months. He's been out with an ankle fracture, but Matthews, a former Southern California player starting at the right outside, was on the stop. The front is Marshall Harris. Bob Golick, who's done a big job since coming as a free agent at middle guard. Mike Robinson there is the linebacking trio. Chip Banks, defensive rookie of the year. Tom Cousineau in there with Ambrose and Matthews. And the secondary, which has had its problems. The Pittsburgh Steelers had 521 yards offense against Cleveland last Sunday in winning. The Raiders with second down and 10. Kenny King again, and King is ahead to the 9-yard line. He's ahead for 7, as they've not yet gone to Marcus Allen. 13:02 left to play in the first quarter. The Raiders getting the ball on the opening kickoff, and on the first play from scrimmage, the bomb. Jim Plunkett, a 64-yard strike to Cliff Branch. Kenny King, who had 3 touchdowns in the Raiders' Super Bowl win over Philadelphia, starting in the backfield with Marcus Allen. Third down and really almost 4 yards as Plunkett takes a look. Into the end zone, Branch goes for the ball, but it's too long. That brings up 4th down, and the Raider field goal unit comes out. The Barr brothers kicking against each other. Fritz for the Raiders and Matt for the Browns.
And it's a big hole that the Cleveland defense made there. Sam said earlier that if we can keep them from running away with the ball game, I think we'll be in excellent position to make a few big plays and get a good chance to win the game. He said, you know, they can blow you right out, and they've done it so often that you have to watch for Cliff Branch on a big play early, getting them out of the box fast. If they got that, they're still going to have to settle for 3.
Chris Barr ready to try now. A 27-yarder. He's made his last 6 in league play, and he gets this one to open the scoring in this playoff game. So the Raiders, after the big play from Plunkett to Branch, get the field goal from 27 yards out, and they open up a 3-0 lead. Los Angeles will kick off when we come back. Today's playoff game is Gillis Coliseum, an estimated crowd of 50 to 55,000 here as the Raiders, 8-1 coming in, have scored on their first possession on a field goal by Chris Barr, who now kicks it off. Dino Hall, 5 yards deep, wisely elects not to bring it out. The Raiders, historically with great special teams play, and they had a wave of silver and black sweeping down to cover the kickoff. McDonald at quarterback for Cleveland. Mike Pruitt and a former USC Heisman Trophy winner, Charles White, tailback. Dave Logan's been catching the ball well lately. Ricky Feature, the other wide receiver, and Ozzie Newsome, who always has a big year at tight end. The offensive line must come together. They've not protected their quarterback well in the recent weeks. Deacon, Jackson, Babb starting for DeLeon at center. Delamalier at right guard, and Cody Rison. Now the Browns had the ball for the first play from scrimmage from their 20. Mike Pruitt, the fullback, runs it, but the Raiders give him virtually nothing as Lyle Alzado, the ex-Brown, comes up to make the stop. Number 77, they start up early. White took a shot at him. Howard Long, a potential great one out of Villanova. Reggie Kinlaw and Alzado up front in the defensive three. Hendricks, Millen, Nelson, and Martin back the line. Hendricks headed to the Pro Bowl again. So is cornerback Lester Hayes. Watts at the other corner. Mike Davis and Burgess Owens, the safeties. So there was no gain on the first play from scrimmage for the Browns, and they go 2nd and 10. Paul McDonald runs it down, and he throws a strike for a Cleveland first down. Coming out of the backfield and catching the ball, Dwight Walker. So the Browns are ahead now to the 35-yard line. A 15-yard gain on the play. Dwight Walker, a rookie out of Nicholls State.
You'll notice McDonald in the first, 2nd and 9 situation. That's the type of situation he'd like to stay out of because Oakland's got an exceptional pass rush. 2nd and 9 is a certain passing down. He'd love to be able to operate 1st and 10, throw play-action passes where he thinks he can get some crossing patterns, which take a while to develop, and I think you'll probably see one here.
Right now, they go to the pitch back, the tailback, Charles White, turning the corner, but there's nothing there as the Oakland Raiders bring out the defense. Rod Martin, the right outside linebacker, was on the stop for the LA Raiders, and so it will bring up 2nd down and 10.
What makes it doubly tough, Don, for a quarterback when you're playing against the Raiders is that you know they can do both run the ball and throw it effectively. Charles White is an excellent runner, but no one has run the ball effectively on the Raiders all year long. It's just an extremely tough defense to run the ball against. You take Alzado, Kinlaw, Long. These guys are tough.
And they sure have not given up much to the rush. They were 2nd in the entire league behind Pittsburgh. Raiders allowing only 86 yards a game. McDonald puts his hand up, lets the ball fly, but it's slapped right back at him as Alzado busted on through. Alzado says too much has been made, John, of the trade, but he said the one part of the trade that does rankle him is that all Cleveland got in return was an 8th-round draft choice. He feels that's all they felt he was worth.
Well, you see, sometimes you're in a bind. You don't know as a coach whether you want to let a guy that's given you so much, like Lyle Alzado had in Cleveland, and let him go. But they weren't able to trade a whole lot for him. He knew he had a young player that might be able to help him, and he gave away something that regenerated.
3rd and 10, the final half of Scramble runs into his own man as the Raiders, with an enormous pressure from the left side, just overpower the Browns. Right tackle Cody Rison was run over.
My goodness. Howie Long got in there so fast on the play, but we're taking a look at some of the offensive play. Dave Logan, who's an outstanding receiver, running against Watts. Ted Watts, a #1 draft choice. One-on-one coverage. Didn't have to cover anybody that time because his defensive end just ran over the top of everyone.
Well, when we were talking, John, to Lyle Alzado, he said he thinks that Howie Johnson or Howie Long has the potential to be another Merlin Olsen, which is saying something.
It is indeed.
A long punt now downfield, and Greg Pruitt, the ex-Brown, brings it back for the Raiders. He's out to the 31-yard line. And there Los Angeles goes on offense again. 1st and 10, a 53-yard punt by Steve Cox. We'll be back to the Los Angeles Coliseum right after this. High above the Los Angeles Coliseum, the Goodyear Blimp Columbia with Tom Nettis at the controls. Jim Plunkett's first throw of this game was his longest completion of the season, 64 yards to Cliff Branch, and it was Branch's longest reception. Now the Raiders go on offense a second time, leading 3-0. Raiders go to the run, and Marcus Allen's first carry is good for 13 yards and a first down.